Some of you are much more brave than me, so kudos to you. But if you're like me and you have no idea like what you're doing, like don't do it. just don't do it. Hey, what's up, sweet, beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're not new here, thank you even more for returning. I love you so much and I'm so happy to see you. I have a really cool video for you guys today. And it's gonna be pretty short and sweet, pretty straightforward. It's all about starter locks, do's and don'ts. So I have a few tips for you guys, and get your notebooks out. Get ready to take some notes. Wow, my professor came out of me a little bit just now. Which reminds me, I do have a few updates for you guys. I'm back at the university. We are in full swing of the spring 2021 semester. So if you guys see me a little bit less frequently, that's why, but I promise never to leave you guys for too long because you have become family to me at this point. So we're back in full swing at the university. I'll be sitting for comprehensive exams next month, actually. So I've been studying my butt off. You guys, please send up some prayers and positive vibes, thoughts, and well wishes, because I am almost to the dissertation phase of my doctoral program. So pray for your girl, and I'm hoping to do really, really well. I hope everyone's doing great as you can be, given the pandemic is still running rampant. So my thoughts and prayers are with you and your families. Please take time to take care of yourself this week. So like I said, I've been pretty busy lately, but I'm sure you all have been as well. I just made time for myself through a Retwist appointment. So I just got my locks retwisted, and I'll show you guys. Let me see if I can get a good angle here. I'll just give you guys a 360 like I normally do. How does that sound? So here's the front view of my locks. I'll just rotate in my little chair here. The side view. It's so important to take care of yourself and your locks, you guys. Retwisted a few days ago. There's nothing like getting your hair washed. I always tell Gloria when I go see her, I'm like, you have no idea how good this feels. You have no idea. So yeah, freshly retwisted, freshly washed hair. And if you watched my last video, you know your girl was struggling with itchy scalp, irritated scalp, eczema on the scalp, and I'm feeling so much better, you guys. So just as a quick follow-up to that last video, if you tried medicated ointment or medicated grease, let me know how that worked out for you guys, because the cortisone really helped. I ended up using it for maybe 4 or 5 days, maybe a couple times a day, just a tiny bit, and I feel much better. I also started using Sea Breeze on my scalp and on my neck just to see how that would work, and so far so good. I'm about 4 days in with the Sea Breeze, and if you guys have experience with that, let me know how that's going for you in the comments below. So without further ado, let's jump into a few starter lock do's and don'ts. So I'm pulling up my notes here on my phone because I wanted to organize them for you guys. The first starter lock do is do establish a lock maintenance routine. You need to establish one very early on in your lock journey, and it's going to change a little bit, but the point here is that you want to have a consistent routine with your locks. So this refers to how often you wash your hair, how often you hydrate, how often you retwist. You want to make sure that your routine is right for you. So What I do for my locks may not be what's perfect for you and your hair. So establish that early on, and you can choose to wash once a month and retwist once a month. You can choose to wash twice a month and retwist once a month. You can retwist every 6 to 8 weeks. Whatever your hair tells you to do, whatever you decide for your journey is what's going to be important here. As far as oiling your hair and hydrating your locks, that's completely up to you as well. The point here is that you want to make sure you're consistent with your loc routine, your loc maintenance routine. That way, unless you're free forming, that way you get the results that you're going for. Number 2, do listen to your scalp. So this is going to inform how often you wash your hair, how often you retwist, how often you need to oil your scalp. As I said in my last video, you guys, everyone's hair is so different. Everyone's scalp is different. Your scalp will not lie to you. Like, if your scalp is itchy, it's probably dry and irritated and needs a little love and moisture. Some people suffer with drier scalps than others. So make sure you're listening to your scalp when it comes to really deciding how often to engage in your loc maintenance routine. The point here is that your scalp is unique, so find a routine that works for you. Number 3 on our list is cover your crown at night. So do wrap up your hair, tie down your locks, do what you have to do to seal in that moisture and make sure that you do not have lock damage or lock breakage from your hair rubbing up against really tough fabrics or materials in your bed and around your home. So even if you're just napping and lounging around throughout the day, make sure your hair is tied down. Now, you don't have to suffocate your locks. Your locks can be free throughout the day. But if you know you're gonna like pass out and be knocked out for a couple of hours because you're just so tired that day, then make sure you grab a scarf, a silk satin bonnet, whatever you have, and tie those babies up. Number 4, before you get locks, make sure you know what parting system you want, what parting style you want, and how big you want your parts to be. So this goes into do your research. Make sure you guys know exactly what kind of outcome you want. And that's not to say you're gonna get exactly what you think you're gonna get, but it helps to know, okay, I like bigger size locks, or oh, I like the smaller locks or the sister locks or the micro locks. If you go in knowing what you're looking for and what you're hoping for, you'll be off to a great start. If you know you want big locks, you're gonna need bigger parts. If you want square shaped parts like the ones I have, you guys can see here, then go for it. If you want like diamond shaped parts or kind of just a looser part that really isn't as uniformed as this grid is, then that's up to you too. So do your research and make sure you know what you want going in. And as a little side note here, this can still be a part of number 4. Go to a professional. Once you decide how you want your locks to look, go to someone who knows what they're doing, because unless you're a loctician or someone who's a beautiful, hair expert, then more power to you. I grew up not doing my own hair personally, so I had no idea what I was doing. I wouldn't have dared to try starting locks on my own. Some of you are much more brave than me, so kudos to you. But if you're like me and you have no idea like what you're doing, like, don't do it. just don't do it. Go to someone you know and trust, and you'll be just fine. Number 5, do test out everything. Test out products, test out your schedules regarding your loc maintenance routines. Don't be afraid to try things out, test them out. I know when I first started, I was looking up so many videos and people were like, okay, I use these products on my locks. Other people were saying, don't use products on your locks. So I'm just like, what do I do? Some people say don't use things that turn into a solid because you can end up with a lot of buildup over the years. Some people say I use products like grease or other products that are solids and my locks are just fine. So Test things out, you guys. Do not be afraid to try out different oils. For me personally, I've tried so many oils. And if you guys want to see a video on which oils work best for what situation, I can gladly whip that up for you and put that together. So let me know in the comments below. But try things out, you guys. Some people have success with certain types of oils while it doesn't work for other people. So it's gonna be up to you to not be afraid of trial and error here. You wanna make sure that you are figuring things out. It's a journey. So some things that work for you in the beginning may not work for you in the middle or the end or what have you. So don't be afraid to try things out. All right, you guys, so those were a lot of do's, like do this, do that, do that. And now I'm gonna tell you what not to do. And this is completely based on my own journey and my personal experiences. So be sure to chime in and let me know some of your do's and don'ts in the comments below. Here's my first don't. Don't be afraid to wash your starter locks. You absolutely can wash your starter locks. I have a video on that, and I washed my hair in the beginning on my own. I think after like maybe 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe it was closer to 10 weeks. But I ended up washing my starter locks because my scalp was just so irritated. And I was nervous because I heard about unraveling and things like that. You guys, my locks did not unravel. And if one or two did, I don't remember, but I'm sure if it did, I just retwisted it. So don't be afraid to wash your starter locks. You do not have to let your hair stay dirty for 6 months before you can wash and retwist. So I went to my loctician every 4 weeks for a wash, and I still go to this day every 4 weeks. And every now and then though, I'll have to like wash in between my visits with her on my own. So don't be afraid to wash your starter locks. I think this is like number 7, but don't scratch too intensely, you guys. You can lead to like a lot of root damage if you decide to scratch your locks, like if you just go in, and I have a video on this too. So make sure you guys check out my past videos to show you girls some love. But yeah, you don't want to scratch too intensely. If your locks are really, really itching, your scalp is really irritated, like I said, you may have a condition like eczema or psoriasis or some type of dermatitis on your scalp. That was the case for me. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until recently. I grew up with eczema and realized that, hey, that's why the back of my scalp is so itchy. It's because I was having an eczema flare-up and I didn't even realize it. So keep that in mind. And if you have to scratch, don't scratch too hard. You can damage your roots that way. Number 8, if I'm still keeping track, I may have like miscounted by now because I'm kind of just throwing stuff out there in addition to my little list here. But number 8 is, don't think you have to cut off all of your straight ends and be fully natural before you can start your locks. Like my mom had a silk press a few months before she started her lock journey, and a lot of her ends were straight when she got started. She told Gloria like, hey, don't cut my straight ends. I want them to grow, you know, into locks as well. And to this day, we just got retwisted a few days ago, me and Ma. And when we got there, like Gloria was gonna cut some of Ma's straight ends, and Ma was like, nah, like, no, don't touch my straight ends. And her hair is locking perfectly fine. So shout out to Ma. She wanted me to tell you guys that that don't think you have to get rid of your straight ends. I didn't have straight ends when I started my lock journey, but that's because I wore protective styles anyway. So all of my hair was completely natural underneath my 2-strand twists. So I didn't start with straight ends, but Mom did, and her journey is working perfectly fine for her. So you don't have to cut all of your straight ends off. If you choose to, that's fine. It may take those straight ends a lot longer to lock, but Ma's like, they're finally starting to lock legs. So she's feeling pretty good. So that tip comes from Mom. Number 9 is, don't covet another person's journey. Everyone is on a walk of their own. You guys, it's great to look around it's great to look around. That was my sister-in-law calling, so I'll call her back. But it's great to look around and be inspired by those whose hair you love and want your hair to be like. But at the same time, a part of this journey is realizing that your hair is beautiful just the way it is. So take that with you. Take that with you. Allow it to circulate in your mind that your hair is good enough. Your hair is beautiful. It's amazing. I was reading a comment from someone yesterday that said, who said they want their locks to be more textured and less curly. So I'm guessing maybe she has like type 3 hair and she wants her locks to be more type 4. And I'm like, girl, your locks are gonna be beautiful. Like, don't worry about changing the texture of your hair, because the lock journey for me has been about embracing what God has given me. And I hope that you all are taking that approach on your journey as well. Your locks will be exactly what they need to be. And if there's anything you don't like about them, comb them out, take them down, start over, or maybe decide to wait on your lock journey and come back once you're ready. Nothing wrong with that. And the last tip that I have here, you guys, and it's gonna kind of sound like a contradiction or kind of oxymoronic, because I've literally been sitting here telling you guys, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. But this last tip I have for you guys is, don't let anyone make you feel like your journey is wrong or you're doing something wrong on your journey. I gave these tips just because I want to help you guys. If you're anything like me, or maybe something I said will make you guys think, oh, okay, that's good to know. But at the same time, if you can't relate to any of these tips, or if you don't want to listen to them, don't listen to them. I'm not a guru. I'm just a girl. I'm just a woman on a journey of her own, trying to share and inspire you guys as you walk your paths. So I know some people may say, freeform is the only true form of locks, or manicured locks aren't traditional locks. You guys, who cares? Go for what you know. Be happy, embrace your walk, embrace your journey. Whether you're free-forming, whether you have manicured locks, whatever you consider traditional, you guys, this is your walk. It's not about anybody else, and it's not for anybody else. It's about you, for you, and by you. So I'm here to support you every step of the way. Show me some love in the comments. I love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you real soon. Like I said earlier, stay safe, stay well, and stay locked. I love you. Bye.